Welcome in to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is the college football show. This is the opening line show. We're talking about all the games that are coming up for, I guess, the traditional week one of college football, the September 5th slate of games, and that would include games from Thursday all the way through Labor Day on Monday. But before we get started, if you like the video, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, click the like button, do us a favor, that helps out a lot. You can also jump in and comment, let us know what your picks are going to be, where you see some value, etc. We would love to get your opinion on everything. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and all season long, make sure that you go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. From there, you can find all the odds, you can find our picks, you can find everything else. We will have written content over there. We already do. We've got some great writers, so make sure that you dive into the website, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. And let's go ahead and dive into this. Look, we got a game on Thursday night. We've got 9 games total this weekend. Only 5 of them have lines. The other 4 are FBS, FCS games. And because there's only 9 games, I would guess later on in the week, we are going to get lines on these games. And we'll talk about those 4 games between FBS and FCS competition later on in the show. But we're going to dive into these 5 games that already have opening lines so that we can discuss our ideas, our thoughts on what is going on with these. Let's go ahead and first talk about South Alabama at Southern Miss. This is Thursday night, September the 3rd, and this one is going to be on CBS Sports Network. The line, as it stands right now on Sunday evening, is Southern Miss minus 14.5. Now, what I'm going to do for each of these games is there is a website called thepredictiontracker.com, and it is all of the best, I guess you could say, advanced analytic coders, or whatever you would get, the math guys, right? The advanced analytic guys. They all come up with their number for the game, and this thing averages them all out, and it gives you a number of what the average is for all of those, and then you can compare it with that number. So on these opening line shows, that's what we're going to do. Whoever has their number out, we're going to go ahead and give the average of that just to give you an idea of what the advanced metrics say. So with Southern Miss and South Alabama, Southern Miss, of course, at home in Hattiesburg. It's a Thursday night game, first FBS game of the season. Southern Miss favored by 14.5. The advanced analytics say that they would be favored by 13.79. So it is insanely close here. I don't expect much out of South Alabama this year. And I know that Southern Miss has got some talent. If I was going to bet, even though the metrics say, it would be under the 14.5, obviously we're not making picks on the opening line show. I'm kind of leaning a little towards seeing value on Southern Miss here. I think that they can absolutely wear this out. But,
yeah, before we started, I was thinking, where do I think these lines are before I see the number?
Yeah.
Before I know what the number is, I kind of got a number in my head. Sometimes it's not a number. Sometimes it's, in my basic thought was 3 scores.
Yeah.
I thought 3 scores. When I saw 14.5, I felt good about that. I felt like Vegas has the line pretty much where it's supposed to be.
Yes. Agreed. All right. With that said, let's go on and dive into the Saturday slate. First game up for this one would be SMU at Texas State. Rotation number here is 240. Or sorry. You know what? No, I did that right. Okay. Rotation number 239 and 240. SMU is favored by 20.5 to 21, depending on the book. And obviously, go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. You can find the odds for all of these games over there. Find the best odd for which direction you were leaning. This seems like a lot of points. Now, I fully expect SMU's offense to be absolutely rocking here. Jake Spavital, they fired Bob Stitt, or he retired, or whatever you want to call it. But either way, Jake Spavital is taking over the play calling, and I know that he is a good play caller. They also brought in the backup quarterback from Memphis, Brady, I forget his name, Brady whatever his name is, to compete with Tyler Vitt. And I think that this is going to make this offense a little bit better for Texas State. I think you're going to see a ton of points here. The opening total for this is 66. And I typically like to lean defenses early in the season, especially
first couple of weeks.
But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking heavy about going over on this one because I think SMU can easily put 45, 50 points up on this team. And at that point, all I got to do is get, 3 touchdowns out of Texas State. I think they can do that against a very inexperienced SMU defense. If I was going to lean one way or the other, I would probably lean the over 66. Now, obviously, we're going to have our pick show on Tuesday nights. But yeah, that's the way that this goes right this second. 20.5, like, that seems really, really close to what number I would have given it.
So I thought the number would start with a 2. I'm actually a little shocked that it's that small of a 2. I was kind of thinking mid-20s. So I think if you like SMU, you get some value there. I think they're talented.
Well, especially anytime you can get under a key number like 21, just saying. Next one on the board for us would be the Middle Tennessee State and Army, right? Now, this one is a little strange. By the way, on that last one, the prediction tracker analytics, the average SMU minus 18.69.
Wow.
So a little higher or a little lower than what the actual line is. With this one, MTSU at Army minus 8 is the prediction tracker average. But right now, the line is sitting at 5. Now, the total is 54.5. I kind of found that surprising. This seemed like a game.
Pretty high total for an Army game.
It's really high. Like, really, really high. I thought that this would be, probably in the 40s.
Unless they just think Army's going to score.
Maybe.
Because if Army scores at SMU,
Middle Tennessee, right?
MTSU, is going to have more opportunities to play football than they would normally get.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm very iffy on this. I'm going to research it a little more.
That's a higher over than I would have guessed.
Yeah.
Thinking in my brain where I think the line should be, I thought the line's probably pretty close to where I thought it was. When I saw that the analytics says at 8, I thought it's a little higher than I was thinking. The total is a lot higher.
This seemed like a game that was going to be played in the 20s.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's not. So, and you can find anywhere from 54 to 55.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this game finished in the 20s like total.
Maybe so. I mean
that's Army football a lot.
Yeah, 17-10 kind of ball game.
Yeah.
I mean, that would make sense. But as it stands, you can get Army at minus 4.5. You can get them at 5 anywhere you want to across the board right now. So go and take a look at that. And next one for Saturday night. And this is the night slate for Saturday night. It is the ESPN primetime game. This is going to be a lot of fun. Arkansas State at Memphis. Now, Memphis is a 18.5 to 19.5 point spread, depending on where you get it. The opener on the site says that when it first opened a couple of weeks ago, it was Memphis minus 14.5, and then it just kept going. As it sits right now, the total is at 71.5, and that's pretty much across the board. I think I see one that's at 72, but it's 71.5. A lot of points, and I think you will get a lot of points here. I'm not worried about this total so much. I'm kind of curious where Memphis sits with Kenny Gainwell deciding to opt out on Sunday, right? I think that's kind of an issue.
Yep.
So we'll see exactly what happens here. I would still lean Memphis. I think they've got a lot more talent than Arkansas State does. I would lean Memphis in this game, but I also wonder how much of a shock it is to have your best player decide to opt out.
Yeah, that's a wild card that I'm curious to see.
I mean, less than a week before the game.
Yeah, where that sends the line.
Yeah.
Very curious to see where the line closes at.
Well, I mean, I will say this. Earlier today, when everything first came out, it was at 20, and now it's down to 19, 19.5, 18.5. So, again, do your shopping. Go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. You can click on that odds button right there, and you will be able to find your NCAA football odds across the board. Just find the best book. That's what we do every week. Find the best book. Now, let's move to the Monday night slate. And that would be BYU at Navy. And as it sits right now, Navy is a 2-point favorite across the board. Prediction tracker average for Memphis and Arkansas State, 17.61. Memphis' favor. So, and that's down a little bit now that Kenny Gainwell's out. Sure. Obviously, that's going to be a big portion. So as we discussed, BYU and Navy a 2-point favorite at home. Total is 53.5 to 54. The prediction tracker average is Navy minus 8.94. Seems like a lot of points.
Yeah, and that's a big difference from what the bookmakers
from minus 2.
have it.
Yeah,
that's a pretty. That scares me when they're that far apart.
Yeah,
somebody's wrong.
Oh, 100%. Well, in all of these analytics, like if you're using stats from last year, see, that's part of the problem with these.
Therein
analytics.
lies the problem for the first couple of games. Is they're using old information that doesn't matter anymore.
And part of this, well, not all the time, right? So some of these guys just use current roster, current da-da-da-da, which kind of freaks me out on this. But, BYU, obviously the more talented team, like by far. But they are going to Navy. Now, how long has this defense had to really prep for this triple option offense? That's where it gets a little scary because typically in these early season games,
you've got all offseason.
You've got your entire offseason. But these guys have to fit in a camp and strength and conditioning and everything else. And are they only going to focus on Navy for a week? Because you still got a whole other schedule.
That's right.
So this is going to be weird to figure out, man. I'll tell you this, it's going to be tough to bet on some of these games. It's going to be real tough to bet on some of these early in the season. And, we'll get through it. We'll see what happens. But, if I was going to lean one way or another, Navy minus 2, you're getting them at less than a field goal at home. And we don't know what BYU has been through. Like, they've been trying to schedule games. They've been trying to do whatever they can. ESPN primetime game. I would lean Navy, especially, like we said, under that key number. I might sprinkle a little bit on that. So we'll see once we get into our pick show on Tuesday night. Remember, 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the SBR YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed, by the way, and that you like this video and share it out and all that good stuff. How do you feel here?
I feel dirty because I don't like where the analytic guys and the bookmakers are this far apart.
Yeah.
And it just screams go the other way.
It seems like this might be a BYU play.
If it looks too good to be true, it probably ain't.
I think you're right.
That's just the way I've always kind of been raised, and it doesn't always work out that way, but it just stinks.
I can understand.
I don't like when lines stink.
I can understand that for sure. So let's dive through some of these other games right quick. And our guys over at CFB Winning Edge have got some really good analytics that they do. You can go over and check them out. I believe they're on Twitter at CFB Winning Edge. Their early season, they always do projected spreads, right? Now, we don't have a spread for these games yet. But Thursday night, we've got Central Arkansas, who everybody just watched on ESPN against Austin Peay. Central Arkansas at UAB on Thursday night. They got UAB a 32.5-point favorite in that game, which is kind of crazy, right?
That's a big number. I would not have had it that big until I watched the game Saturday night.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, this team's going to struggle. Great. Yeah. They're going to struggle.
And especially short week, et cetera. So, all that.
Yeah.
Saturday, September the 5th, we've got Eastern Kentucky at Marshall. They got Marshall a 31.6-point favorite. Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting that big, but I like Marshall a lot this year. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Saturday, it's September 5th. All these are on Saturday, by the way. Houston Baptist at North Texas. They've got North Texas a 36.06-point favorite, which makes perfect sense. Seth Luttrell getting back to calling plays this year. They got a ton of talent at the skill positions. We got to see if there's a quarterback that can get them the ball. But, we will figure this out. Houston Baptist is not very good. This is a bye game.
Move the needle for me at all.
No, not at all. But there's only 9 games this week. So
I know. That's okay.
And finally, Stephen F. Austin at UTEP. Stephen F. Austin's a pretty good FCS team, right?
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
UTEP, not a very good FBS team.
True. That's a factual statement. It's safe to say.
They have UTEP as a 3.73-point favorite.
That sounds about right.
UTEP by a field goal over Stephen F. Austin.
All right.
In El Paso.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see. I would expect there to be lines on these games at several different books as we get through the week. But as it stands right now, I don't think you're going to find one as it sits. So with that said, that is the opening line show. Go ahead, give us a like. Do us a favor. Go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Not a whole lot this week. We will have a much bigger slate to get through next week. And either way, I am excited. We've got football. We are getting into the first season, or the first week. We are pumped for this. Could not be more excited about the opportunity to be here hanging out with all of you guys. So if you would, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and that you like the videos and that you share them out with your friends if you enjoy. And make sure that you comment. Anywhere that you see value or something like that, make sure you comment on the video. It's going to be like this all year. We want you to be a part of the show, and we appreciate everybody that has been watching. If you want to see more sports content, again, sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. That will get you into everything else the Sportsbook Review has to offer. With that said, make sure you click the links in the description, all that good stuff. And yeah, I think we're going to get out of your hair for right now. So for sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And we will see you guys next time.